Welcome, I'm your instructor, Jared Bernard, and I will be walking you through at a very high level of your first week in this class. So if you're taking an operating systems class from me, whether it's Windows administration or Linux administration, a lot of this setup and the lab setup is the same. So let's walk you through some of the key parts of the lab that you're going to be interacting with, the EEC network, and what VSphere is, and how to set up a virtual machine very quickly. There are also PDFs online that you can look at that I put in Rock that are available for you. So first let's do this. If you're in Rock, if you just scroll down to your class, you find a class, there's Linux administration. Just click there. I put several, and there's a syllabus there for you. You're welcome. And then further down, here are your assignments that you need to complete. And then there are several instructional guides, which I put out there for you. At a very high level, I'm going to cover, at least in a video format, an introduction. So when you look at these PDFs and these instruction guides, it's a little bit easier to understand because you have this video demonstrating exactly kind of what we're doing. I won't go step by step like these instruction guides do, but at least so that you'll be able to navigate the different applications that we'll be using. So one of the first things you need to become familiar with is the EEC network. So if you're not in room 107, then you need to access the EEC network through your internet browser. So the way that you do this is you type in this IP address, or this URL, sorry. It is desktop.ecc.iwcc.edu, and you should have a site or a page that opens up quite like this, which you can use. I usually click on the right icon here, VMware HTML access. And this takes you in to log into the EEC network. Put in your username, and then your password is your EECC password. If this is your first time logging in to the EECC network, it is capital IWCC123. Once you've logged in, you'll be prompted to change your password. Otherwise, it is the password that you had set up for the EECC network. So go ahead and click sign in. And then you're presented, you may not have all these options. I have a few more options than the students do. But these are virtual machines that will be running inside your browser. So go ahead and select one, and you'll begin to log into a Windows desktop. So this will take a few minutes here as we get going. One of the things in setting up these labs that may be a little tough is there are a lot of steps to it. It could be complex, and what I fear is that some of you may become really frustrated with this whole setup process. And what I want to ease your mind is that that's okay. I know it may be a little tough, but if we get through it, everything else, and if you build this foundation for your lab, everything else throughout the semester should run fairly smoothly. Now, that being said, you know, I did make these instructional guides. If you want to go online, there's several YouTube videos which are available for you that give you a lot of the same information. So if you find yourself getting stuck, getting frustrated, you know, try to do some of your own research. You can always reach out to me or talk to classmates, and you'll be able to solve the problem. But that's just like the real world, right? The real world, you have problems, right? Everything, you're not given perfect instructions, and then you walk through those perfect instructions and everything just works out, right? Technical issues happen, documentation isn't always correct, or it's out of date, or whatever else. Number of problems can go wrong. So just be aware of that, but this is part of what it's like in the real world. All right. Once you are logged in to the EEC desktop, it should look something like this. Go ahead and open up a browser. So you're kind of opening up a browser within a browser, which I know is a little odd, a little bit like Inception, right? So when this opens up, we're mostly going to be using this to be able to access the vCenter's website. So this here is your ECC desktop. And I refer to it as that, I believe, through most of the documentation, that you need to be logged into this session to be able to access the VSphere site, which we're about to go to. If you're in room 107 in a classroom, those machines are already set up on this network. You don't need to worry about it. You can simply just go to this website I'm going to give you. So in the URL, if you type vm.ecc.iwcc.edu, get presented with this little warning. Just go ahead and skip through there. You'll finally come to the VMware vSphere web client. Go ahead and click log in to vSphere web client. Again, you'll get a little security warning here. Just go ahead and go through that. Now this request will come up. Just go ahead and launch. That's fine. And to log in, your username, you need to log in using ecc.iwcc.edu, then /, and then your username. Okay. And then your password should just be your ECC password. And you've already used your ECC password to log into this ECC desktop here, right? So this is vSphere. This is it's a server, and this is the web client in which you interact with the server, and it holds and contains virtual machines. It allows you to easily set up virtual machines, manage virtual machines, and work with them in a real easy way. So we're going to be spending a lot of our time here in this section here, VMs and templates. And once you're logged in, you can go ahead and expand out this window. Occasionally you get funky mouse stuff happening, but you see it all kind of comes back. And click there to expand out. And as you can see, is we have several different folders which are numbered, and your name should be listed as one of these folders with a particular number. And within these folders, if you expand them out, this is my folder here, we will be having several virtual machines. Now, to initiate the install of a virtual machine, you'll be clicking on your folder and just say, hey, new virtual machine. And then you'll walk through this little wizard and you'll actually set up a virtual machine. Now, once your virtual machine is set up, you'll see it listed right here is part of your menu system, and whatever you ended up naming it. And but that doesn't mean that you necessarily have an operating system on it. It's just a machine, so you need to install the actual operating system, and the instructions show you how to do that. Now, to access this, so let's say I want to connect to this server 1. The first thing you need to do is make sure it's powered on. You can right click on it, click power, and if it's not on, you can click on. Otherwise, you can turn it off here. Mine is already running, so I'll just leave that alone. And then you usually go here to the summary tab. And the summary tab just gives you kind of a status of what's going on. It says that it's running right now. And then if you want to actually access it, you click the little black box there, and then it actually opens up your server, just like this. And here's my Windows server, running right here in one of the tabs. Now, if I need to go back and configure things, if I want to open up a second server, I can do that. I can just click right here. Oh, and this one's actually powered off. So I can actually go and power that on. You should see the status change here in a second once it's on. And you should be able to click in there, and then I should be able to have server 1 and server 2 up and starting. And they just work through your tabs here in your browser. Okay. So that's vSphere, and this is the environment where we'll be working a lot with. Oh, one thing I do want to show you here is here at the login screen. The way you log in, you can't do Control-Alt-Delete because that'll actually affect the system that you're on, right, in your Windows machine. So what you need to do to actually initiate Control-Delete to be able to log into your virtual machine here is you'll need to be able to click this button here, and then there you go, and it sends that Control-Delete here to that virtual machine. You can then click And let me click on here, and I can type in my password, and then you're able to log in if I can type my password correctly. And then you're able to log in. So it's a really neat system that allows you to be able to have a concise and controlled work environment for your lab. So this is just kind of a high-level view of what you're actually going to set up, the purpose behind why we're setting this up, and the environment that you'll be getting used to throughout the semester. You'll become very familiar with VSphere web client and how to access these machines. And then you'll be able to access these machines no matter where you are online, and be able to do your homework and your other labs. So if you have any other questions about the labs that we're going to be setting up, any of your assignments, please feel free to contact me. My contact information is in Rock, and I hope you enjoy your course. Thank you.